Alrighty, so day one of playing in my multimedia sketchbook. It's very early on of organizing this video, so I'm not exactly sure what the title is gonna be or like what the whole premise is gonna be, but basically I just want to finish the sketchbook, and so this is my first attempt at this. I kind of put this off until like the very end of the day. It's like almost bedtime now, but I'm glad that I like sat down and actually played with this. I was thinking like, I don't know, previously when I've played in this sketchbook or like done like things with paint or like just like multimedia, whatever, if the medium is like messy, for some reason my brain is just like, okay, this is gonna be messy no matter what. Maybe it's just like me undermining my own skill because I'm not comfortable using traditional medium. I like come into this like process of like using this more messy material and just like kind of throw paint around and like make messy blobs and then like I finish the piece and then I wonder why it looks bad. So yeah, with this like sitting down, I was really trying to like be very intentional with like how I was putting down the paint and kind of approaching this like messier medium in the same way that I would like a cleaner medium, like pencil or pen or even like my iPad. And I think that helped a lot. I really like how this page turned out, you know? I wasn't expecting me to like enjoy this process, and it was really nice like just taking the time to like, okay, I think that's another thing, like I get my paints out, I get my water, I get all the shit, and I have to fucking clean it up still, but you know, it's all out, so I'm gonna be here for a while, so there's no rush in like trying to just like scribble shit out, because I feel like with pencil or when I'm just like playing in my like normal sketchbooks with like dry medium, I feel like I can make pieces that I like very quickly because I can just like sketch shit and like do more like looser kind of drawings and it'll still turn out good. But with paints and things like that, I don't have that skill yet or that comfort level with this medium. So when I try to take that approach, I just end up like hating what I'm making because obviously like I'm not there yet, so I can't really speed through these things like I tend to. But you know, it was a nice little process. I had nothing really else to do tonight, so it was nice to just like sit down with my paints, do these little paintings, and then as well, like I think adding the mix of pencil crayon on top was really cool. It really like put that like finishing touch that like that on top of everything. So I like how that turned out. I'm happy that like I'm making use of these gouaches that I have had a very ugly relationship with up until this point. I feel like I was blaming the gouaches for the messiness of my own hand, but alas, it's never the material. Master artists can make masterpieces with a fucking 25-cent pen, you know? It's not about the material at all. So getting that through my mind. Yeah, I just just painted like this girl. I saw like a photo collage type thing on Pinterest of like a chick with like a bunch of different like shark figurines floating around her head. So I took that as inspo and just like did a portrait and then add little koi fishes. I thought that was cool. And then yeah, just a dude with a bunny ski mask. I don't know what those are actually called. And then I just did 3 little demons. I think like with these simple little cute drawings, like I'm not really one to draw cute little doodles and things like that and make them look like good finished pieces of art. Like when I do silly little doodles, they're just like literally tiny little sketches in like the corners of my sketchbook pages, just like drawing myself how I feel in that moment, or just like drawing little, writing down little like notes and things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I thought I would try like drawing something cute and simple for once, but also like actually kind of try and like make it a little bit polished, a little bit finished looking. And I like him. He's so cute. Him is so soft and neutral and adorable. So yes, successful first session. On to the next. All right, so session number 2. This one felt very good. I was vibing super hard. I think because so my last session, I initially told myself like I was gonna fill an entire spread with like gouache painting type things, multimedia, whatever, but I ended up stopping halfway because, I don't know, I was kind of like over it after a single page, and I thought that was like fine to just stop. So yeah, coming into this one, I knew I was just going to spend my time on a single page, and especially like sectioning off this like canvas area for myself or whatever, I feel like really gave me a mindset of like, I'm only going to be making one piece right now, so I can spend more time on it. There's no pressure to like move on to the next thing to like fill more space. And yeah, this was the result, and I'm super pleased with myself and super happy with it. I'm definitely beginning to understand the hype around gouache. I've talked about my complicated relationship with gouache before, but yeah, gouache and I have had a rough start, but I think it was just like my impatience and my like unwillingness to like spend the time to like actually learn how to use it properly that was like messing with me, and then so I didn't touch it for a long time. But I think like, I don't know, working on this piece like felt fine. Like there was no like friction, or like I wasn't getting frustrated at all with the material. And yeah, I think I'm learning a lot. So far I've learned kind of that with gouache and with paint, I guess in general, since I'm not the most skilled traditional painter, and I don't really have the patience for a lot of this kind of stuff. So I think keeping to like a very minimal color palette, either like a single color or a couple different colors, is like the best formula for me. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I learned a lot with this one. I definitely understand now how it's like kind of emerging between watercolor and acrylic paint. It's super nice being able to like overlay like some opaque layers, but also like the ability to like dilute and like spread around more like watered down color is also very nice. So yeah, super happy with this piece, and I'll continue to learn. I'm excited to see like what I think of gouache like at the end, like when this video is done and when this sketchbook has been filled. So yeah, excited for that. Stay tuned. Alrighty. My first session in the daylight. Yeah, I wonder what a massive difference the camera quality is gonna have filming this stuff at night versus the day. Yeah, truly, when I'm doing my like nighttime shots, it's not even that late. It just gets super dark super early because it is February. So yeah, this little page that I did, I found a nice reference of a greyhound that I wanted to draw. Sorry, not a greyhound, what am I talking about? Doberman. I think Dobermen are so beautiful and their shapes are so interesting. So yeah, I wanted to try, you know, playing with like some paint and pencil crayon to like kind of make a stylized little doggo. I like the combination of like yellow and green, and I guess like red and green are kind of complementary, so it's like this split complementary palette that I used, but the layering of the dark green over the red wasn't really working, which makes a lot of sense, I guess, because the red and the green combat each other, so when you layer them it gets a little like muddy. So my mistake there. Yeah, but other than the colors, you know, I like how it turned out. I'm liking this kind of like very loose way of using pencil crayon on top of the paint. I don't know, it makes me feel like kind of like loosey-goosey and like a painter, even though I'm not using paint. The pencil crayons allow for like more control, but I'm still able to like layer like different opacities of like hatching and things like that on top of the paint, which like kind of builds shapes and like feels a little like painter-ish, if that makes any sense. Yeah, and then to fill the rest of the page, I just did some more of these little demon guys. I might try like refining some of these eventually, or like figuring out like a good like character design for them and then making like stickers or pins out of him. And yeah, because I like him. I like I don't know, any sort of like neutral, adorable little thing is just so cute to me. I don't know. Like I think a neutral face is way cuter than a like a happy face or a smiling face or a any other kind of face. It's just funny. It's like funny and cute. So I'm drawn to it. I can't help it. Another one in the books. Another one in this book. Off to the next. Oh my god. My eyes are all wacky because I was looking into a lamp, I guess, for too long. Okay, here we go. Session 4. Multimedia sketchbook. Let's go, boys. So yeah, this one, again, felt very good. I really like this. I really feel like I'm getting into a flow here. Yeah, this was just a reference of like some photo that I found on Pinterest, another portrait type thing. I guess I went a little bit simpler with like the facial shadows and like facial definitions and stuff. Also, I guess using yellow as a base made it harder to like build value and stuff. I could have went harder with that. Maybe if I were to make one change, that would be it, is I would like build more contrast in the face. But I'm happy with it. You know, my pencil crayons really pulled through here. I love the, I don't know, the combination of textures with the gouache and the pencil crayons. I really like my color palette. I was initially just going to do green on yellow with a black background, but I'm really glad I added the red on the lip, even though, like, I don't know, I'm careful about how many colors I add because I want to keep it really simple, but truly it's only like 3 colors plus black, so a bit of like a not quite primary, but almost primary palette. I forget what those are called. But yeah, once again, very happy with the outcome. I don't know, today was a bit of a weird, slow-ish day for me. It was like kind of a work day, kind of not. And I had do my multimedia sketchbook session in my like schedule for today, or like my to-do list. And I was like about to cross it off midday because I was like not really feeling like the most productive person earlier today. So I almost crossed it off, but then I was like, no, who knows, you know? Who knows how I'll feel later tonight. So I didn't cross it off. I didn't like already fucking give up on it. And then I like read a little bit, took a second, meditated, and I felt so zen and so like ready to fucking do whatever. So I thought I'll pull out my sketchbook and I'll do this, and look what I made, you know? It's incredible. It's crazy how much, you know, the mind can switch from like meh to like let's go. But yeah. So, mission accomplished. Very pleased with myself, and yes, excited for the next one. let's go. Wow, holy guacamole, you guys. I forgot to record my little confessional check-in after that session. One moment. Let me refresh my memory. I remember, like, as I was painting this, I was thinking of like, I'm gonna say this. No, I can't remember. Okay, yeah, so this one was really cool. I don't think I've done like a full body yet in gouache. So I knew this was gonna be a little bit of a challenge. I was a little bit intimidated to start it, but I made sure to give myself like a very good, clear... My potatoes are done. One sec. What a mess, what a mess. Yeah, I made sure my sketch made a lot of sense. I didn't want it to be too messy because I wanted clear guidelines for myself, where to put like shadows and where the body made sense to go. And yeah, I really was thinking about like in gouache, you're really kind of meant to, or like any gouache tutorial that I've watched, you're meant to like go light to dark or like light to heavy with your paint. So you start with like a tea consistency, then you move to milk, and then you move to cream kind of thing. So yeah, I was really trying to do that, especially the swimsuit being lighter than the skin tone. I knew that I needed to fully like give a light layer to the skin tone, which I've only done when I've done like a wash for the base. I think, maybe, I don't know if I'm like straight applying right there, but yeah, I tend to like leave the skin tones white, especially if I'm just like, I don't know, doing like some sketch on paper with a single color, because I'm always like scared that I'll make the like go lay too dark on the skin tone and then I've gone too far and then you can't really take away once you've put down. So I was careful about that, and yeah, again, just like really focusing on lighting and making sure like the shadows fell in the right places, and like playing with values within the shadows was really cool. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how this one turned out. Again, like I say this every time I sit down and like play with gouache. I like the shit. I really do. It's wild how quickly I've gone from really not wanting to touch gouache at all to really enjoying it and really kind of vibing with it and stuff. So yeah, another successful page, another successful session. Thank you very much, and to the next one. Okay, hi. It's been a second since I've done one of these multimedia book sessions, but yeah, hello, I'm back. I'm a little bit sick, so please excuse my rough exterior, and I'm also like waiting for my hair to dry. But yeah, this spread was really cool. I think I already talked on the blue lady here. That was really nice. Very proud of that one. But yeah, I just added some rabbits on the other side of the spread here. I went for a pencil crayon for the first little section of bunnies, just because, like I said, I haven't played around in this sketchbook in a second, so I wanted it to be very like low pressure. And I'm very comfortable with pencil crayons, so yeah, started there and, you know, felt good, and then I just felt like I needed to fill some space behind them, so thought I would dip my toe back into gouache, and this felt good. I'm really liking the consistency of gouache. I feel like I'm really getting used to it. It's really fun like hatching with gouache over top of like more like diluted base of gouache, and then taking like a thicker kind of buttery texture, buttery concentration of the gouache, and then just like hatching over it. It gives it like this kind of very charming illustrative look, I think, and I'm very comfortable with hatching. I use it all the time in my drawings, so being able to pull that kind of visual language and like skill into gouache is making it feel much more comfortable than how I would imagine going in like super painterly would be. So yeah, I'm learning. I feel like gouache is very much like if you take your time with it and if you just like build on layers and try not to go too crazy and try to be like as precise as you would be if you were just like drawing with a pencil or pencil crayon, then yeah, I feel like it feels, or it starts to feel pretty natural. So yeah, another one down. All right, so I did this spread literally right after the last one, because I was just waiting for my hair to dry still, and I feel like this took a really long time. Suddenly, like 2.5 hours later or something. Anyways, yeah, starting this off, you know, it's a bit of a more kind of complex image. There's lots going on with like the body and the, I don't know. I was kind of just winging it. I just found this reference image on Pinterest and wanted to draw it. So yeah, starting off, wasn't feeling too great about it. I feel like once I got in like the base paints and for like the leaves and things like that, it was looking pretty meh. But I felt like I could bring it back with detailing with pencil crayons, which I feel like I did that once I got in like the black to kind of like really reinforce it and give it some like structure and anchoring. It was feeling a lot better, and then getting in the details on the leaves with like that lighter pastel-y pencil crayon, everything really started to come together. And yeah, all in all, I think it's like a cool little experimental piece. If I were to do this again in a more like serious format, like if I was making it a painting, I would spend a lot more time planning out the sketch and the composition and all that stuff. But you know, for what it is, for just like literally doodling it in pencil crayon and then painting it, I think it turned out well. On to the next, I guess. I think I want to add some sort of caption or something in the corner there, the white space. I don't think I'll add anything else on this spread, because this makes kind of like a nice little illustration on its own, so I don't want it to be too busy or anything, or, you know, add too much that it would take away from this on its own. So yeah, on to the next. Okay, yeah, excuse my, how I'm presenting myself right now. It's very late and I'm sleepy and sick and all that good stuff. But yeah, thought I just wanted to paint a flower today. Like I said, it's basically bedtime. I'm pretty sleepy and I didn't want to think too hard about like what I wanted to do, so I just found a photo reference of a flower and just painted it. Not thrilled about how this one turned out, to be quite H, but I feel like that's just how it goes when I start to play with color and things like that. Mixing paints is complex, and I often don't have the patience for it. So yeah, I don't know. For some reason, like, I guess when I sit down in my sketchbook, I have this mindset of like, I want to be quick and I want things to go smoothly and easily, but using gouache in a sketchbook is kind of like creating a bit of tension for me when like, I don't know, sometimes it seems like it flows easily, sometimes it feels like there's some added tension there, which makes a lot of sense because obviously I'm not the most comfortable in gouache, but I don't know. As I was struggling with this, sorry, my voice sounds horrid right now, but you know, what do you do? As I was painting this, like starting off with the petals, I feel like I I was already disappointed because I wasn't happy with the colors that I used, or that was the result of my very quick and lazy, I don't like using that word, very quick and efficient color mixing. So yeah, started off that way, and then just kind of made my way through the rest, I guess. And yeah, it's fine. I mean, everything's a learning process. I feel like as I'm getting older, and as I'm kind of maturing, I always have this thought in my mind that, like, I'm 25 now, and so technically I think my brain is finished developing. So that's kind of cool to think. Especially, I don't know, just like seeing how I've developed over the years and like how my mind has changed. Yeah, I feel like the more that I do this stuff and the more that I like sit down and create art that doesn't necessarily go easy for me, the easier it'll be to try new things and learn new things, because I could very well like just stick to doing what I'm comfortable with and just like repeating that over and over. But I have this craving for like learning how to do this other shit, or like I see other people like playing with paints and things like that, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. And then I sit down and do it, and of course it's hard. And even though it is hard, the point that I'm trying to make here is I think that it's good to do these things anyways. And each time you do something that is hard, whether that's like with art or anything else in life, it gets easier and easier to just take things on and do them because you want to do them and not avoid them because you're afraid of not being good at them. You know what I mean? Anyways, all in all, this one was meh. It's a flower, whatever, like it's fine. But I think it's good that I painted it. I'm happy that I did it. Don't love the flower, but I love that I'm doing this. So it's all a learning opportunity. And on to the next. Fuck, dude. I literally sound so bad right now. I have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I hope I'm better by then. We'll see. Alright, so hello. Today's Sunday. Pretty chill day for me. I kind of like blocked this day off to get a bunch of work done in this multimedia sketchbook. So that's cool. I finished off these two spreads kind of back to back-ish. I took breaks in between, obviously, but yeah. So firstly, I started with this drawing of Louisa Lager. I don't know what her actual name is, but yeah, I just found her on Instagram recently, and she's just so cool, and I love her body, so dynamic. So yeah, I took one of her photos on her Instagram feed and then used it as a reference. Yeah, I knew I wanted to, try and be precise with my like finishings on top and like use of pencil crayon and things like that. So laying down like the body, my original plan was just to like put down a silhouette. But as I was going, I was kind of like, placing shadows where it made sense to place the shadows just based off of the reference. And I ended up building like some sort of structure and like a bit of dimension just with the paints. And then so when I went over with the solid red for the like darker solid parts, and then the pencil crayon on top, it felt very like, like I was building like a pretty finished solid piece. And then to really like bring it out and make it bold and make the figure stand out, I just put in this dark navy background. And I think, sometimes just like putting a dark background behind a figure so that you can really see the shape of the silhouette stand out, I feel like is really helpful, and it it looks very like graphic and cool and makes it a lot more like punchy. Yeah, so that's cool. And then over on the other side, that flower that I did previously, I just added some more like little botanical elements and like leaves and things just with line. And I like it a lot better. I feel like just adding in those cute little other doodles, even though like they literally took me no time, it just made me like that this page a lot more. And then, yeah, I decided not to add anything else on the page with Louisa, just because like the drawing of her itself is like detailed enough and I didn't really want to like crowd the space or anything. So yeah, called it good there on that spread. And then next, this next spread, I just wanted to fucking fill it up, honestly. It's kind of stressing me out how many fucking more spreads I have to do. I have more left to do than I've done so far since I've started this this little project of like finishing it. I believe I have 8 more spreads after this one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to be finishing all 8 before like I leave for my trip, but god damn it, will I try. So yeah, this one's pretty simple. I thought I would just like, you know, do what I'm used to, do what I like doing, and draw a bunch of figures, like kind of focused around like their outfits and like fashion and things like that. So yeah, I sketched in all of the figures just off camera because it was very light and you can really see it. And then with those sketches, I just silhouetted in the silhouettes with gouache, very light gouache, just focusing on filling in their the clothing and things like that, and then leaving the skin blank. Just so that I can like build some shape up and whatever, create some like a little bit of interest. And then I went in on top with my Prismacolor Premier black pencil crayon. Yeah, this kind of deal is very like reminiscent of what I feel like my digital drawings are like, or my digital illustrations. So I was trying to kind of like channel that energy into this. I feel like I've talked about this before, but for some reason when I'm, you know, playing with multimedia, particularly when, you know, I'm on like a bit more of like a textured paper and I'm playing with paint and things like that, for some reason my brain is like, let's be quick, no need to be precise here. So I was really trying to like rein in that thought process that I tend to have when I sit down and do these things. And think like, okay, let's take our time. We're using a pretty like sharp pencil crayon here. Like we can get detailed if we want to. And yeah, I was trying to focus on like building the folds and building the dimension within the fabric and the photo references that I was looking at and things like that. And yeah, it's a pretty nice spread. I like the way that it ended up. I'm very comfortable, as we all know, you know, drawing figures and drawing like more kind of fashion-based things. So yeah, this was a nice like kind of way that I could like turn off my brain after the previous spread that took a bit more focus. There they are. On to the next. Okay, hi. Is that okay? That's fine. Yeah. Sketchbook time, baby. Yeah, today was a bit of a eventful day for me. I did a lot of painting all day already because I'm working on a piece. But yeah, I gotta get this motherfucking sketchbook done. So, I decided to do some more, and it's Sunday today, so I had some time. So yeah, I don't know, I was just kind of in the mood to play with some inks. I'm using India ink here, and it's just kind of fresh on my mind because that's one of the types of inks that I'm using on my gallery piece for the Nest show. If I've talked about it on a video so far that's out. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, again, same kind of thing that I did like last time. I just found a bunch of references from Pinterest that were kind of interesting. I was particularly paying attention to like shadow and shape I wanted to use the ink to like play with different blocks of like different like values of the ink and stuff, like especially since I'll be using one color with the inks, or like there's no differentiation in color. I'm just relying on value to build this subject or whatever. So yeah, so with the girl with the kimono, just like looking at my photo reference, it was very clear that the kimono itself was like one big block of dark value, and then the hair, and then the rest of it was just kind of like white. So I don't know, it was cool to just like push around ink and not think too hard. And then I think like going in on top with the kind of thin line marker really helped to like define some detail and give my hand a little bit more control than what I'm able to do with a brush. And then yeah, I moved on to this other one, very cool model. I like this reference because it had some like very strong shadowing and things like that, which is always fun and an easy way to make a body look cool or like a figure drawing look cool, is if you have like strong shadows. So yeah, same kind of deal. I focused more on like the line art for this one, but again, I used like the different values of inks to kind of block in the different shapes. And then this last one is just like, I don't know, I drew a reference and I didn't really like it, so I just used this red brush pen that I have. And you know, it's fine, it's kind of like a background element for the spread. It's kind of what it is for this one. Ta-da! On to the next. Do I say that for every single one of these? It's hard to recall because I've literally been like filming these over a month now, I think, spread out. Anyways, next, let's go. Okay, hello. Hi, when we're in this spot for the first time. Hopefully this lighting is not too harsh on me right now, but yeah, I painted a cat. You'll see this turning into a cat as we progress. Honestly, okay, context. This is my reference that I'm using. So it's a looks like it's like a photo treated kind of photo of a cat, like a flash photo or something, or like, I don't know, maybe it's nighttime and it was like night vision. I don't know. Anyways, I thought it was cool. I felt like drawing a cat, so I chose this photo to try and paint. And yeah, it was kind of a fucking hot mess because, as you would expect, you know, mixing green and red can be a little bit tricky. They're opposing colors, of course, so that's why in the photo we have that kind of like dark blend in the middle, because when the green touches the red it becomes muddy and they cancel each other out. So yeah, I thought I would give it a try. And you know, it was a struggle, especially when it was like solely the paint to begin with. I think especially because I was working on it kind of, I don't know, firstly, the gouache that I'm using is not very good quality. Secondly, it sounds like I'm giving excuses, which I am. Secondly, I'm not very good at gouache, or like, you know, she's learning. So yeah, I feel like that kind of, the like part where it blends being where the cat is, so I kind of have to like paint around the cat as well, made it like messy and not the greatest. If I were to do this like on a actual painting that like mattered, I would probably paint in the cat how I did and then mask off the cat with something like very reliable, and then do the blend on top of that so that I could get like a really nice, smooth green to red blend. And so yeah, I don't know, I ended up going in afterwards on top of the paint, as I tend to do with pencil crayon, and once again, the pencil crayon kind of saved the day. I went in with like the black to create like the illusion of that blend, or like what's going on in the photo itself, and I feel like that, just like darkening the background to help the cat stand out a bit more, helped a lot. Yeah, I feel like it looks better in person. for sure. if you can trust me, but yeah, there it is. A learning experience for sure. I'm glad that I gave it a go despite its intimidating color palette. So yes, on we go to the next one. Good morning. So yeah, it's the morning after I did that last cat painting, and so I just am finishing the spread this morning. Yeah, this page is very wholesome, lots of cute animals, and this one cat that I'm working on is so cute. I think it's like, it must be like a cat coming up to like a Ring doorbell or something, or some sort of camera at night. Very cute. Yeah, this page I kept pretty simple just because, I don't know, I feel like I really went for it on that last cat painting, and then so this one I just wanted to kind of be chill. So I mostly just laid down like base colors in the cat that's like a sphere. I just did like yellow as a base and then a bit of orange around the edges for some like subtle shading, and then the little, I don't know what these are, lizards, maybe? Are they lizards or are they like geckos? Lizards, probably. Yeah, for these little guys, I just did like one color just to like block in the silhouettes, and then for the cat sleeping at the top, so cute. Yeah, I just used the yellow again to block in the pattern in its fur. And then, yeah, pencil crayons kind of did the rest of the heavy lifting here. There is something to say about just like, you know, using materials that you kind of want to learn in a way that is comfortable to you. I think for me, trying to paint like an entire thing with only gouache is really stepping outside of my comfort zone. And when I feel so inclined to do something like that, I'll do it. But otherwise, if I just want to like play around and kind of do something that I'm comfortable with, like in my process, which is, you know, using gouache as like a base and then adding pencil crayon or something like that on top. I feel like that's a fine way to incorporate another new material like gouache that I'm trying to learn while still, you know, being able to create work that I enjoy and bring it to a certain amount of polish that that I'm used to without struggling too hard with the gouache, because I feel like learning something is hard enough when you're used to being good at what you know. So having to like kind of start from the ground up kind of with like something new is hard enough on like your self-doubt and things like that. So making it easier for yourself by incorporating your normal process into learning this new thing, just so that it like gives you a base to kind of grow on, I think is maybe a good way to do something. So if you want to learn something, finding a way to mix it into your current process so that it feels a little more natural, I think is a nice like stepping stone to learning that thing without it being like too uncomfortable. So yeah, there's a spread. I like how it, you know, turned out. And that is all. On to the next one. We're getting pretty close. Like today is the last day that I'm going to be working on this sketchbook. I still have like 5 more spreads, and honestly that, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 5, yeah, and that like daunting number of spreads left that I have to fill has kind of been tough to face. So I've told myself that I'm gonna try and do like at least 2 more spreads and call it good, and then there's 3 more spreads that are empty in the sketchbook. But you know, sketchbooks don't have to be filled front to back, you know? I have plenty of sketchbooks that have like 10 empty pages at the end and I've just like kind of moved on from. So that's what I'm telling myself. So I'll see where I get to today, but honestly, no pressure. I've done a lot in this video alone. So yeah, I'm excited to go through the sketchbook tour eventually after this. So look forward to that. Next one, let's go. Holy fucking moly. That's it. I'm calling it. Yeah, hello. Okay, so this is my last spread. I know in the one that I just did, I said that I wanted to do 2 more spreads, but I don't know if it was obvious or not. I was trying to like keep it together, but I had like a migraine coming on, and when I get migraines, I get aura migraines, so it starts with like a visual mess. So yeah, anyways, so finished that spread, had my migraine, took a good long break, and then decided to continue once I felt okay enough. I'm just coming off of it now. But yeah, for this spread, firstly we have this like blocky kind of plant to sky thingy. I saw this like, I guess it's like a poster designer of some sort on Pinterest that kind of had this kind of square motif, and I just wanted to draw something easy and chill and plants and something, so I did this, and yeah, it helped me chill a little bit. Typically my migraines happen because of stress. After I finished this one, I was just thinking about like, oh god, I have to finish this spread and then one more, and it was just not really helping my situation. So I decided that this would be the last spread, and I'm glad that I decided that because this last piece I feel super proud of. It's very much within my comfort zone, like it's a cute girl, right? And it's leaning a lot on pencil crayon, but yeah, deciding that this was going to be my final piece, I thought like, okay, let's make it good, let's put a lot of effort into it. And yeah, I really like how it ended up turning out, and now that I'm finished, it feels good. I feel like, I don't know, looking back at like all of the spreads that I did specifically for this video, it's a lot. I feel like I did a lot. And I feel like I learned a lot as well about gouache and playing with multimedia things and pulling out paints just to play in a sketchbook. I guess reflecting on myself before and after this kind of challenge that I set out for myself. Before, to start, I would never pull out any paints or anything like that. When I wanted to sketchbook, it would just be basically either like pencil or pen or, I don't know, some sort of like marker maybe. But that was kind of the maximum that I would play around with material. So doing this challenge or whatever to finish off my multimedia sketchbook, it's it's finished enough, we're calling it good. I feel much more comfortable just like pulling out my gouache, and I feel like I had a preconceived notion about gouache and paint and whatever, that like it's such a mess and it's such a inconvenience to pull your paints out every single time and then clean it up afterwards. And that is a little bit true. Like if you're sitting down to paint, it is a lot more involved of a process than just like using pencil or something in your sketchbook quickly. There's definitely more to it, but I feel like having gone through all of these spreads, it's really not that big of a deal and that crazy in terms of setup and cleanup. There is definitely like more thought that goes into it, and I'm a lot less comfortable with paint than I am with pencil and stuff, like most people, I'm sure. But yeah, all in all, I'm really glad that I, challenged myself to do this. I feel like I explored in more ways than one throughout this kind of thing, and I feel like I've learned a lot throughout. And yeah, that's all, I guess. It's, I don't know, I feel like there is something to be said about like finishing while not actually finishing. It's hard to let go of this idea that like if you quit early, you're slacking off, or you're, I don't know, being too easy on yourself or whatever, just like these negative connotations that come along with completing something before it's actually 100% done, like this sketchbook. of course, like, it's good to push yourself, but it's also important to, you know, understand everything else that's going on with you. And like, if finishing something that you set out for yourself isn't in the cards, then that's okay. It's okay to finish 90% or something. There's no good in beating yourself up about it. So I'm trying to remind myself of that, and just trying to look back on what I did do positively and reflect on the positive impact that this challenge had, whether or not I finished the sketchbook all the way to the end. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this process of mine. I hope you learned something. If you were drawing along with me while I was doing this, I hope I was like a comforting friend to your sketchbook session or sessions. And yeah, I'm gonna do a full sketchbook tour of this entire sketchbook, because these last few pages, I only did 9 spreads for this video to finish it off, but there's like, I did that much at the end, and then there's still all this that I'm excited to show you. So you can look out for that video in the next few weeks. And yeah, wild. Again, it's wild that I started this in 2017, and now I'm 2023, and now I'm just wrapping it up and being able to call it donezo. So wild, wild, wild. I feel like this whole process has just like held so much weight over me for so long, for the past like however long that I was doing this. And now that I'm done, it's kind of crazy. It's a relief. So yeah, that's all. I'll stop rambling. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in a bit.